Hi guys, so this is part 2 of literal equations. Go ahead and read the agenda and feel free to pause the video to take notes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So we have the same steps that we had before for one-step equations as well as two-step equations. So we're gonna go ahead and continue following those steps, all right? So step 1 is to anchor the variable to be solved for. This one, it says solve for A. So I'm going to box in that A. And I'm actually going to write it over here just so that I have more space. D is equal to A plus B plus C over 3. All right. Now we have to evaluate the operations that are taking place to your anchored. So right here, as you can tell, this is being divided, right? We have divided by 3 here. We want to get rid of this so that we only have the top and it looks a lot nicer to work with. So what is the opposite of dividing? Well, that is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply. This is a multiplication sign by 3 on both sides. Multiply by 3 on both sides. So this is 3 divided by 3. So that reduces to 1. So we no longer have it there, okay? Now I'm gonna rewrite it. 3D is equal to A plus B plus C. So as you can tell, that is a lot nicer to work with, right? So again, we're solving for A. Now we want to get rid of all of this here, and we want to move it to this side so that we have this A by itself, right? So what is the opposite of plus B? Well, that's minus B. So I'm going to subtract B on both sides. So B minus B reduces to 0. Minus B over here. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it so you guys can see what that looks like. So then I have 3D minus B, because I can't combine that, is equal to A plus C. Put a box around that. And then now we have to get rid of that C. So that is plus C. How do I get rid of that plus C? Well, I do minus C on both sides. Minus C. So C minus C reduces to 0. And I'm left with 3D minus B minus C is equal to A. And this is my final answer. I am done. Okay. Now it says solve for Y. So again, box in. So box in your Y, because that is what we're solving for. And now we want to move this 4x to this side, and we want to move this plus 7 to this side, as well as this negative 2 to this side. But remember what I said, whenever we're trying to move things over to the opposite side, we want to start with whatever is further away from the boxed y. So that would be 4x or that plus 7. That negative 2 is the last thing we're going to move, okay? All right, so you can either do the plus 7 first or the 4x first, but I'm going to just do the 4x first. So how do I move that over? Well, that is a positive 4x, so the opposite of that would be negative 4x or minus 4x. So 4x minus 4x reduces to 0, and I'm left with negative 2y plus 7 is equal to 0 minus 4x is just negative 4x, okay? Now, keep a box around this. Now I can move that plus 7, right? So how do I move it? Well, I do the opposite. So it would be minus 7 on both sides, minus 7 on both sides. And I'm left with negative 2y is equal to, how am I going to rewrite this? Well, remember, we always write the coefficient with the variable first. So that is at negative 4x. And then I can write down my minus 7. Now, the only thing I need to get rid of now is that negative 2 that is connected to the y, right? So what's the operation being used there? Well, that is negative 2 times y. So that means that I'm multiplying. How do I undo multiplication? By division. Make sure you divide by that negative 2. Don't forget about your negative, okay? Negative 2 divided by negative 2 reduces to 1. So then I'm left with y is equal to negative 4 over negative 2x. And then negative 7 over negative 2. Okay, now let me go ahead and explain how we're going to reduce this. So any negative divided by a negative turns into a positive, right? So I'm going to have y. Let me switch the color on that. We're going to have y is equal to negative 4 divided by negative 2 reduces to positive 2. So I'm going to have 2x, and a negative divided by a negative makes a positive, so this is going to be plus 7 over 2. And that is my final answer. Okay, this right here is my final answer. Now for the next one, again, we have division. So we want to get rid of the divisions before we even do anything else, right? So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it over here. So I have A is equal to H over 3, and then I have A plus B. So put a box around what we're solving for. In this case, it's A. And I want to get rid of that division. What is the opposite of dividing? Well, it's multiplying. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3, and I'm going to multiply this side by 3. 3 over 3 reduces to 1, so it's gone on that side. I'm going to rewrite it so that you see what it looks like. So I have 3a is equal to h, and then a plus b. So that looks a lot nicer, right? Now we know what to do. All we have to do now, whenever we have parentheses, we need to distribute. And remember, we need to distribute to everything that's inside of that parentheses. So I have 3a is equal to, what's h times a? Well, you just put those together because you're multiplying those, so that's HA. And what is H times positive B? Well, that is a positive HB. Let's put a box around our A. And now I want to move everything that is on this side, including this H, to this side, right? I want to get this A by itself. So I'm going to start with the thing that is the furthest away from that box. So this would be the HB. What is the opposite of positive HB? Well, it's negative HB. HB minus HB reduces to 0. And I do the same thing over here. So then I have that 3A minus HB is equal to HA. Okay, so now I want to get rid of that H on the right side, right? So this is H times A because they're right next to each other. How do I get rid of that division? Sorry, I just gave out the answer. Well, I get rid of that multiplication by dividing. So I'm going to divide by H, divide by H here. This reduces to 1. So then I'll be left with 3A, and I'm going to separate them. 3A over H minus HB over H is equal to A. Can I reduce anything here? Well, I can't reduce any numbers, but I can reduce some variables, right? So the 3A over H, they have nothing. Oh, put a B. The 3A over H, they have nothing in common, so I just rewrite it. But H over H, remember, anything divided by itself reduces to 1. So then I'm left with just 1B is equal to A. And this is my answer. All right. Now,